So we have to find a time nanti bila kita nak kata ganti satu lagi kelas tu, nanti kita fikirkanlah macam mana kita nak buat tu lah. Because the school already asked me about the timing. So saya kata nantilah I discuss first, kita just go ahead with this and then we decide later. And then I think the school also asked me to submit the final exam questions already. Dalam minggu depan ni saya akan hantar final exam question. But the final exam question ni sebenarnya dia ada berbentuk case study sebenarnya, ya. You will get a case study lah. Dia punya expectation is a case study. And I also need to give you a midterm lah. So mungkin dalam isu dia lah, I tak suka bagi midterm ni lama, nanti you all ambil banyak masa. Sebab dia sebenarnya I don't want you to waste time. As I said, most of the things yang kita cover dalam kelas tu is the one yang keluar. Jadi I don't want you to spend 2-3 minggu for this kind of things, you know. You should, if I were you, I just spend about 3-4 hours saja. That's it, to do the assignment as well as the final exam questions lah. It's not designed in such a way that you should be spending so much time. Don't design questions untuk you spend berhari-hari lah buat. Dia tak macam tu, dia sepatutnya bukan macam tu. Dia sepatutnya 3-4 jam punya kerja je sebenarnya. Kalau okey lah, kalau you tulis tangan mungkin 3-4 jam. Kalau you type, mungkin some people type slower kan. Mungkin lama sikit lah. But that is all you should be doing lah, pada saya lah. So today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about performance management lah. I think this is a good topic. It's a topic that people always talk about. Now when we talk about performance management, what we talk about is actually the performance of an, of course, mula-mula kita terpaksa cakap the performance of organization kan, because the people can be replaced. The people come and go. People, you hire new people. Sometimes you know, the hiring can be done in many ways. People come in as a full-time, permanent staff, contract staff. Kalau government dia ada my step dan sebagainya kan. So if you look at it, you will say that sebenarnya when we talk about performance, we talk about what the organization aspire to be lah. So in this perspective, selalunya kalau kita tengok, there are two kinds of organizations. One is what we call the profit-making organizations, and the other one we call the government organization atau NGOs lah, non-government organizations. So biasanya, just write this down because this is a fundamental thing. Kalau kita tengok profit organizations, kedai Speedmart ke, Giant ke, all these organization lah, termasuklah you know, all kata airlines company dan sebagainya. All these people when they are making profits, sebenarnya dia punya maximum, dia punya orientation is that they are maximizing profit. So kita panggil profit maximizer. Okay, this is their main goal. The main purpose of private entities is actually to maximize the profit maximization, what we call profit maximization. Kalau kita panggil government organization ataupun NGOs, you cannot say that they are profit maximizer because that is not their nature. Their nature is actually to maximize their shared values. So government entities, itu bukan untuk buat profit. Yes, you may say that if I go to pejabat kerajaan and so on, sometimes I have to pay. Nak ambil borang kena beli, itu kena beli, submission kena beli. That is actually cost recovery. Their aim is actually not to exploit people and try to make a profit out of it. They don't do that. So what they actually do is they have a value and therefore we call it shared value. Biasanya government entities, ada banyak government entities kan. So mereka ditubuhkan atas akta tertentu ataupun for specific reason dan sebagainya, and biasanya dia ditubuhkan untuk give certain values back to the people. So that's why we call shared values. Sama juga NGO. NGO bila ditubuhkan, dia tak boleh kata NGO je. What kind of NGO? Dia kata for animal rights, for human rights, or apa tu, whatever lah. Tapi dia ada value yang dia fight for. That's why we call shared values. Boleh faham? You get what I'm saying?
Right. Get Rolf.
Okay. So once you have this idea about shared value, you have this idea about either profit maximization ataupun shared values, then obviously you have a good idea that what the performance apa ni yang dimaksudkan dekat sini. Katakanlah you apa ni apa tu pejabat kerajaan untuk bagi hebahan lah, hebahan pasal pertanian and so on. That means one of the measurement is to make sure that everybody understands that people across Malaysia in some other states yang dominantly in agriculture and so on, they can appreciate the importance of agriculture, for example. And therefore your punya success story could be X number of our GDP comes from agriculture products. And therefore, we should measure that, okay, in order to get this amount of contribution towards our GDP from agriculture, that means you can ada this kind of productions. And this production can only be achieved if on average, kata satu petani boleh buat banyak ni contribute. So, you can calculate from there how many petani you ada, roughly. Then you know that, okay, now the KPI is actually to mewawarkan lagi kepada ramai orang rakyat Malaysia untuk jadi petani, for example. This is just an example lah. Sama juga katakan macam KPT. I mean, I'm not sure whether you have any experience. If you do, please share with us. Right? You know that dalam masyarakat kita ni, despite all these modern eras dan sebagainya, there are also people who choose not to go to school. They choose to not to go to school ataupun they choose to drop themselves out from the system. I mean, maybe some of you are aware, maybe some of you are not aware because you have never been part of in that circle. There are some people, okay, kita faham, ada setengah orang dia jatuh sakit, ada setengah orang ada malapetaka lain dan sebagainya, dia couldn't join. Ada, itu memang ada. Tapi ada setengah orang yang they choose, the school is not for them. They decided to leave the school for whatever reason. Selalunya mereka ni adalah orang-orang daripada sekolah menengah. Sekolah rendah ni ada juga, tapi selalu sekolah rendah ni lebih sebab kepada kewangan. Sekolah menengah ni dia lebih kepada dia dah tak berminat ke, ataupun dia rasa dia nak kerja ke, ataupun something else lah, dia rasa there is no point of going to school. So dalam kes ni mungkin KPT dia akan katakan okay, to reduce the number of dropouts from secondary school. Every year we need to reduce that number to 10%. Kalau tahun pertama ada lebih kurang 50,000 orang dalam Malaysia yang drop out macam tu, dan tahun kedua it should be 45 saja katakan dan sebagainya lah. Terus itu shared values lah. So macam mana apa dia buat dalam sekolah, dia buat satu perhebahan, motivational talk and tell them that if you leave the school then you're not taking SPM and then so on, therefore you're going to have a certificate, and therefore it can be very difficult for you to get jobs in the future.
Prof,
yeah,
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you agree if I say that it's not only me, lots of people saying that there's a lot of dropout from high school students because our market, pasaran pekerjaan ni, they are not offering lucrative basic salary for the job seekers outside there. Let's say macam you ada degree and then the starting salary for engineer is like merely 3,000 something, although you are working in a very stable company. So sometimes and plus these students, because they are still growing, right? So diorang dimomokkan dengan macam mana nak cakap, dengan thoughts that being an influencer is much better, buat business sendiri rather than like further your study and get a proper job, macam tu.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, I think in Malaysia ni dia kalau kita tengok negara maju, tak semua orang pergi universiti. People decide what they want to do at a very young age. Like if you want to become footballer, you decide maybe at the age of 5 years old, you dah decide dia nak jadi footballer dah. Jadi you pun tak berapa nak belajar sangat. I mean, you don't really follow the sekolah-sekolah ni. You put sekolah sukan. So they have other means. By the time you reach 12 years old, you already have in mind that you want to become a professional footballer. Because you have an idea that you're making a lot more money than people who have a PhD pun. You rasa setiap minggu gaji you jauh lagi tinggi daripada orang-orang ni untuk 1 tahun. Profesor dekat UK dapat lebih kurang dalam 60,000 je. Pemain bola sepak 60,000 tu gaji seminggu punya gaji.
Betul.
Yang 60,000 tu pun bukanlah superstar sangat. Dia dapat setiap minggu dia dapat 60. Profesor ni 1 tahun dia kerja baru dapat 60,000. So that cuma dekat Malaysia mungkin, ataupun bukan saja Malaysia, ataupun many of other developing countries dan sebagainya, this phenomenon is different. Everybody feels that they need to study, they need to have qualification. So everybody, ataupun at least majority of the people will think that this is a normal route. Di mana once you finish your SPM, then you got to go to university. Yalah, universiti apa you masuk, top university ke, mediocre university ke, ataupun whatever it is, you must get something. Then after that, then you are considered to be in a normal punya stream lah. Then everybody will start having this belief that they deserve to get a job, or there will be at least some jobs available out there for them. Jadi benda-benda macam ni kita kena, what I'm trying to say, we must acknowledge this is what I think. Tetapi of late, maybe the last few years, we have seen some differences in this. And some people, actually, I look at this bukan saja last few years. In fact, many years dah. Ya kan? Dulu masa zaman saya, it's very clear. Masa zaman saya 20 over years ago, that if you get a degree, you stand a better chance to get a higher salary dan sebagainya. And you always see a diploma tu is bukan option kepada budak-budak yang result dia baiklah ataupun okay for SPM. Selalunya diploma ni result dia kurang baik, then you take diploma. Tapi today is different. Today it's quite fashionable for people to take diploma, and then after that they go to work, and then they decide whether they want to decide to study ke tidak ke, later. Decide later. Then you get the diploma. During my time, kita takkan ambil that choice. That choice is usually for the students yang mungkin result dia kurang baik. Kurang baik sikit lah daripada yang lain. Tapi today, budak yang baik pun akan ambil option tu sebab there are many other options. And I've seen, bila saya mengajar part time pun, I've seen some students yang dapat 9A, 8A, they actually, they decide not to study. Because they kata, I can pick up the study anytime. Because now I just need the money first. And the moment they get the money, dia pergi masuk pula kelas part time untuk buat degree dan sebagainya. So when I teach them, I know their qualities are different. So when I ask them why, they kata, well, in the first place, I didn't get the scholarship. I don't want to bother my family, my parents. They're not very rich people. So I thought of just working, and then I get into the system, and I make, kerja 2-3 tahun, get some income, and then I put aside certain income to do a part-time study. And I used to be good students anyway, so it's not that difficult to. So ada setengah student decide not to study at all because whatever they do, they believe they can sustain dia punya lifestyle dan sebagainya, or maybe like you say, they become influencer dan sebagainya because they have special talents, and they carry on saja with that. They believe in what they do, and I believe that should be the case. I believe that should be the case in many developed countries. People are like that. Not everybody go to university. Some people go to the college to acquire certain skills because they want to. They believe they can make money. Kalau dekat UK, ada setengah orang lepas O level, dia terus masuk macam college community lah. College community, and then they study college community ni bukan study 3 tahun macam ni, dia study setengah tahun saja. Dia belajar pasal plumbing kata. And plumbing dekat UK make a lot of money. So kalau you punya apa tu kan, because kat sana dia ada banyak pakai plumber. The water has a lot of plumber. That's why a lot of plumber. Jadi they clock out dia punya sink dan sebagainya. So when you call this plumber, they make tons of money. So some of these people you talk to them, they say, hey, I don't have to go. Dulu saya pernah kerja kat pejabat pos. Saya kerja kat pejabat pos. Gaji dia 1 tahun dekat 30,000 lagi tinggi daripada gaji fresh graduate. What's the point of going to the university? Right, that you wasted 3 years. 3 years. Kalau kat UK, usually 3 years kan. Dia kata, I start dulu daripada habis O level, I terus jadi postman. And every year, my salary is about 30,000. Kalau fresh graduate pun baru dapat 20 lebih saja. Saya dah, by the time these people keluar universiti, dia sudah hutang berapa banyak. Saya dah dapat 90,000 dah. Pound sterling dah. Kan? Dia kata, dan saya tak ada hutang siapa-siapa. Some people believe that that is the way. Tapi kalau dekat Malaysia, is a little bit difficult. Kan? But unless you go through ada channel lah, jadi penyanyi ke, penyanyi itu, mungkin masih boleh lagi. But I've met many people dekat masa when I was in the UK, I met many people who are good badminton players atau sports players. When you look at them, you ask them, dia kata, I was an ex-national player lah. A youth national player. Say, oh, how come you end up here? How come you don't end up dekat? Kata, my parents don't believe I make money. So where at the schools, after I represented Malaysia dan sebagainya, after SPM, my parents said, stop. Cannot become a badminton player. Badminton player don't make money. Masa tu kita tak ada Lee Chong Wei lah. Lee Chong Wei baru nak naik. And if you look at the history of all these people yang dulu main badminton, I don't say all, but many of them from 3, habis from 3 saja. And some of these people, dia main badminton pun dia bukan jadi world champion. So the question is, after you 30 plus, you no longer represent Malaysia, what kind of job can you get? Very difficult kan? Kalau you tak berapa terror sangat, bukan lah, you know. Then how many jobs are available dalam BAM? Takkan semua ex-player akan jadi coaches dalam BM. Some of these people have to go out and they probably become private trainer dekat tempat lain and don't earn that much money, tak stay. Kan? I think that's why they created the MSN Sukan kan, sekolah sukan kan. So if you look at very carefully, these people they must also get educations lah, kan? Education dia kena dia sit in as a macam orang biasa, macam SPM dan sebagainya. So they are emphasized to do well at the university, at the school as well lah. Ada lagi siapa-siapa nak tanya soalan buat performance management? Ada nak tanya? Fatah ada nak tanya soalan ke? Rosita ke? Ada? Malhazri, I selalu dapat nama ni salah. Malhazri.
So Malashri.
Memang ejaan ni macam ni ke?
Memang macam ni.
Malashri. Malashri ada soalan nak tanya ke?
So far okay, Prof.
So that's why bila kita study subjek lain, dan dia kata, okay, you need to define what is the performance, maknanya what is the punya end goal. So that end goal becomes the thing that the organization wants to achieve. Once you know that, that's why dalam first class dulu kita belajar, HR must tag along with the senior management team. Yeah, I told you in the first class, this is very important because then only they can understand, they can appreciate the expectation of the organization. Then only they can translate those expectations to the staff. Macam mana mekanisme yang dia nak translate tu banyak cara. Termasuklah hiring. Then they know what kind of people that we need to hire. Kalau tidak, dia tak tahu. I've been in some GHRM, they have no idea. In fact, they cannot even challenge department when department say, I need more staff lah, I need more staff. They just facilitate saja. Sekali kita tengok, oh, mana department ni terlampau banyak staff and then they are incurring all the costs. Contoh kan, macam banyak department. I work in one department, dia ada 4 lawyer, legal advisor. Lepas tu dia hantar proposal, dia nak tambah lagi 4 lagi legal advisor lagi. Dia nak ada 8 legal advisor. Say, can organization has 8 legal advisor? What do you do? Do you draft contract? You don't draft contract. Even contracts are drafted by external lawyers, for example. What they do is that they just facilitate. That means, okay, we have a contract for a particular job yang kita nak kena buat dan kita kena sign with client and so on. They facilitate that. So I said, how can you need to have 8 people to facilitate contract? We do contracts on a daily basis. Kita buat contract on daily basis pun. 1 bulan kadang-kadang 1 kontrak saja. Macam mana 8 orang kita nak gajikan buat benda macam ni? So they don't understand. So HR tak faham, dia letak je dalam bajet, kita bagi 4 orang. See, they don't understand. So that's why HR ni, dia kena jadi orang yang faham the business side. Then they can translate this into what the organizations are doing dan sebagainya. In terms of the people, in terms of the directions, in terms of capacity building, in terms of training dan sebagainya. There's so many things that HR needs to do. Dia tidak sama about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, HR punya function was not like this. Very passive. Even those yang non-performing, they campak dalam HR. So they believe HR just doing a routine jobs, ataupun operational jobs yang sebenarnya you tak datang pun orang lain boleh buat lah. That's what the mentality today is different. Today you need to that's why you need to elevate the status of HR supaya nampak these are the people who contribute to the success. So bila you dah tahu the expectations of your organizations in terms of the performance requirement dia, then the next thing that you need to do is to, like I said just now, to do an assessment. That means you need to find a unit of measurement that you consider. In this case, when we talk about the unit of measurement, then you talk about KPIs lah. Then you talk about KPIs, okay? So the KPIs can be many things lah. Contohnya, when you talk about performance, you consider sales is one of them. That's fine. Sometimes you may also want to consider something else, like for example, kalau marketing team, dia kata, okay, in order for us to have a good sales, you need to have things in the funnel. Okay, funnel. Maknanya, these are the potential clients that can work with dan sebagainya. Therefore, in order to get this amount of sales, we need to have, say, 100 clients. So you give a KPI to your marketing team that I want to see that you come up with, say, 100 plans. 100 plans plans to visit 100 go to 100 different destination in Malaysia so that you can broadcast whatever project kita punya offerings dan sebagainya. That's why you see many people kan dia buka booth dan sebagainya kan, macam DG ke ataupun Maxis ke, buka booth kan. Dia ada marketing people. Itulah dia punya KPI sebenarnya. Lepas tu dia kata dalam KPI tu, dalam bila you buka booth over 3 days tu, I want you to make sure that you close at least 50 orang lah berpotensi yang nak hire us lah. Kita dah ambil kita punya produk lah. Itu you punya KPI. Then out of the 50 tu, kita bagi kepada salesman kita untuk cakap dengan orang so that they can close the deals lah. So these are the kinds of what we call assessment and then evaluation. Evaluation, okay, I said 50, did you get 50 for 3 days? Okay. Get 50? Okay, fine. Tak dapat? Okay, then you have underperformed. So these sort of things have to be in place when you talk about performance management. So one of them is a KPI. Now, when you develop KPIs, there are, like I said, there are a few parameters. Anybody in here yang tak pernah ataupun mungkin let's not embarrass anybody because it can happen. Some organization they are not that formal, therefore they don't actually share with you your KPIs, and then a lot of it they are very ad hoc dan sebagainya. Ada organisation yang macam tu. So kita jangan memperkecilkan mereka. But I just want to know in this class, has anybody not seen a KPI before? Ataupun performance contract lah. Maknanya company dia memang tak bagilah. Mungkin company dia ni dia lain cara dia kata today you buat ni, besok you buat ni, besok you. Jadi dengar aja cakap bos. The boss is the owner and then the boss is good enough lah. Ada organisation yang macam tu lah. Does not mean that they're not successful. They can also be very successful. Yeah.
I think Prof.
Yeah.
I think dalam semua airline dekat dunia ni, I think none of the pilots have ever seen a KPI lah given to them.
Okay.
Sebab I think for pilots it's more like regulatory punya requirement that you need to renew your license and skills for every 6 months. That's where you will be evaluated. But as an employee contributing to the organization itself, KPI in terms of that tak ada lah.
Dia mungkin one of the things yang mungkin dia translate is that you need to fly certain number of hours kan? Ada kan?
Fly certain number of hours in terms of output, lah, that is the target, not from us but from the planners.
Yeah. So
I think that is the KPI for the planners, not on pilots lah.
Yeah. That's why I said dia sometimes dia tidak translate benda ni Tapi macam mana at the end of the day, they say for example at the end of the year, how do the pilots being evaluated? For example, kita nak bagi gaji, siapa dapat gaji lebih katakan. Siapa naik
So
pangkat katakan.
pilots who hold the same ranks will always have the same salaries. So captains will have the same salary for captains. Co-pilots will have same salaries for co-pilots. The only difference is that every year we do have an increment. And of course, the more senior pilot you are, the more senior you are, the more increment you have. So kat situ je lah gaji dia beza.
Okay. Alright.
Prof, kalau KPI ni most probably more people on the corporate side lah. Because we venture into management, and kalau kan kita belajar the expertise and also the managerial line kan, mostly managerial line ni yang ada what we call it the KPI.
KPIs lah.
The expertise line ni basically is more like to retain them because of due to certain expertise. Macam tadi Iqbal bagi tahu dia pilot kan, so pilot ni more on like a service, they are flying the planes. So basically whatever drive by the planners lah, maknanya people who derive the business, so that is actually their KPI, because they have to ensure that this pilot is all mobilized and apa semua kan. So same goes to corporate side, which is bila kita go for managerial level ni, dia ada that tier of you have to achieve certain output or projects for you to reach to certain, mana dia ada that carrot stick along the way tu. That is actually my view lah in terms of performance management, especially on KPI, because certain company got this bell curve or whatever curve that they put in because of performance KPIs, the remuneration of the KPI basically, we are talking about giving bonuses and all those things and the reward part. So that's how KPI exists. Macam certain companies tu bila talk about specialty tu, dia more towards I need your specialty, this is your pay, and along the way I have to retain you at certain point because we need your expertise up until when kan. That's how I view performance management lah.
Yeah, good. I think most of the time this is what happened. Biasanya when you talk about to the management team, then they pun understand these are the things yang the management tools lah yang digunakan untuk for them to also understand that this is what I need to produce lah in order for my organization to be successful. Okay, walau bagaimanapun sebenarnya betul. What I can see the example shown is that if you are operational person, for example kalau you kerja dekat McDonald's, dia tak ada kata, make sure you jual apa tu burger banyak ni dan sebagainya. These people say, how can I control the traffic? Itu dah kerja lain dah. Saya tukang buat burger je. Lepas tu kalau tukang buat burger ni pula dia akan kata, saya bukan boleh buat burger begitu je. Saya punya QC ke depan tu kena bagi tahu saya berapa banyak burger nak kena buat. Of course I can tell from the ordering ada kata 5 burger, tetapi QC akan bagi tahu, ni pukul 12 tengah hari, takkanlah you nak buat 5 biji burger saja. Kita kenalah anticipate juga kan. Tak lama lagi ada orang lain nak datang pula. Kan ada orang lain nak datang, jadi takkan dia orang ni nak tunggu yang lama kan. Buat macam ni, jadi kita kena buat lebih sikit. So macam tu. So what actually happen is that apa yang Kamarul cakap tadi pun betul. Then the KPI is given to dia punya management team lah. Dia bagi KPI itu kepada the management team. So just 1 second. Sorry. Ni kucing ni dia bila dia masuk ni dia buat kacau sikit kat sini. Manja sikit ni. Okay. So what actually translate tu betul. Jadi maknanya actually the KPI is given to the higher level. Yang the higher level ni they try to cascade it down by just giving instruction. Buat ni dan sebagainya. So at the end of the year, apa yang akan jadi ialah dia akan evaluate the staff ni sebenarnya you dengar cakap I ke tidak cakap I. Macam tu. Dia akan tengok benda lain pula. Dia akan tengok macam, you datang awal ke berapa kali you datang lambat? 1 tahun katakan. Apa cuti you? Dia akan tengok benda lain yang dia jadikan sebagai dia punya performance evaluation. Itu yang kadang-kadang staff kadang-kadang dia tertanya-tanya. Macam mana you naikkan pangkat orang tu tapi you tak naikkan pangkat saya? Dia tengok benda tu very subjective. So next year, when I don't come late at all, you tengok benda lain pula. You ambil cuti lagi banyak. Apa tu, ataupun annual leave you lagi banyak daripada orang ni. So at the end of the day, benda tu become very subjective. Sepatutnya KPI ni dia tidak subjektif. Dia berbentuk objektif dan like I mentioned before, the more subjective it is, then the more difficult for you to control. Because dia jadi element of judgment. Element of judgment. Jadi sepatutnya benda tu bila kita buat satu KPI, KPI tu dia kena sebenarnya berbentuk impact. Bukan berbentuk output. Dia lebih berbentuk impact. Kalau output ni macam ni kata ya. For example, kita bagi satu KPI kepada company secretary. Company secretariat, bukan secretary, company secretariat. So that company secretariat tu kita kata okay, ada empat board meeting. Ya, ataupun ada 4 board meeting setiap tahun. So that means every quarter there will be a board meeting. After every meeting, the KPI is given that the company secretaries must prepare the board minutes within 1 week. Okay, so apa dia buat? Dia buat aja. Cukup 1 minggu keluar. Dia cukup sebab dia nak meet KPI. So cukup 1 tahun dia kata, you minta 4 kan? Saya buat 4. Saya dah buat 4. Semua tu less than 7 days. 6 days dah keluar. So I should be rewarded because I meet my target. Ini adalah yang tidak berapa tepat. Walaupun dia punya tu objektif dia ada di situ, tapi objektif tu tidak di-set secara baik. What it means is that you ask me to do 4, I do 4. But actually they all rubbish. Dalam tu dia tidak lengkap. Some of the things you capture are not accurate. People are challenging it. Tapi you kata, submit kan 6 hari, I pun keluar lah 6 hari. Lepas tu, up to them lah. Orang lain nak komen tu, then it could be one month kita finalisekan benda ni. Tapi KPI saya keluar 6 hari. That's why I said it is not well designed. Maybe the KPI should not be like that. The KPI should be maybe final acceptance of board members, board meeting punya board ni must be signed off after 2 weeks katakan. Jadi habis je board meeting, paper tu kena keluar dah. Maknanya dia keluar for circulation. So within 2 weeks saja dia dah boleh sign, dia kata ya, yang minutes ni tepat. Itu yang dimaksud. So that means you must be very very objective. Kalau KPI yang dibagi kepada cikgu, okay, you know what, teachers, we give you KPI, you ada 6 class, you make sure you do the 6 class. Okay? Make sure that you don't change the time, you don't do this, you don't do that because kita tak nak disruption dan sebagainya. Okay, bila cukup dalam kelas, okay. Lepas tu bila kita tanya student pula, student semua pass. Kali tiba-tiba kita tengok employment, tak ada orang nak ambil student kita. Kenapa tak ada orang nak ambil ni student kita? Sedangkan everything is good. Because you punya KPI tu di set ke tempat yang lain. You tidak setkan macam yang sepatutnya. Contohnya, mungkin cikgu ni tidak perlu di setkan 6 kelas begitu, emphasis dia begitu. Tetapi lebih kepada, you must make sure the students understands. Must make sure that the students can actually articulate very well dalam apa yang dia belajar, and then it can be translated into things that they can actually do in the future. That's why you look at some organization ataupun some university, they like to say, or they are proud to say that 97 of our graduates get employed within 1 year. Why they say something like that? Because they are confident first that the teachers are giving education that are relevant, and the students are very confident. So when the students go for interview, people understand the quality of the students from this particular university. Itu yang sebenarnya dia nak buat. So I'm sure what they do is that they instill certain KPIs dalam bentuk itu kepada cikgu-cikgu ataupun kepada pekerja-pekerja dekat universiti tu. Dia kata, okay, on top of that, dia kata, kita pun kenalah buat satu networking dengan industries. Supaya kita punya student ni senang dikenali oleh industri-industri. They are confident with. Ada siapa-siapa yang ada pendapat yang berlainan ataupun ada something that you want to share through your experience ataupun your knowledge? Ada ke? Tavindran, ada Tavindran? Anything that you like to comment ke? Ada? Atau Fazilawati? Ada?
Tak ada.
Rosita? Ada Rosita? Rosita? Ada?
Prof,
Ya, Iqbal. Ali.
I know that we are talking about KPI kan, but
Yeah.
to do this KPI, we need to understand the organization's goal. And earlier you said there are differences between private organization and NGO kan.
Ya,
But what about the goals for entities like social enterprises? Like an entity who makes, it's a business entity, but really serving the community kan. What are their goals? How do we
dia sama saja. Kalau dia bukan entity yang buat duit, dia memang entity yang chat values. Dia ada dua saja. Dia ada only two kinds of people. Either they are profit maximizer or they are the people who actually provide values.
I
Term
see.
values.
So there is nothing in between
Dia tak ada. Dia biasanya kalau in between tu biasanya dia share values. Sebab
see.
dia biasanya yang diorang ni kalau dia collect duit pun dia collect duit for cost recovery. Nak bayar dia punya bil elektrik ke dan sebagainya. But they are not making money from their services to be self-sustained. Tidak. That means kalau NGO, kalau you bertanya dengan NGO, they all usually get funds. That's why they register as NGO. Because there are funds available dan sebagainya. Then after that, they look for sponsorships. Then sometimes they give membership ke dan sebagainya. That's how they make money lah. Actually to self-sustain. Dia tak ada NGO yang akan keluar kata dia make lot of they make money, they are profitable. Nanti kan susah pula dia nak kena tax macam mana pula dia punya element of tax. Dia tak ada. Government entities pun tak ada yang berbentuk macam tu. Memang ada government entities yang collect sedikit duit. But they are not supposed to dia bukan kata tengok macam JPJ ke dan sebagainya kan. Wah, diorang ni buat duit betul lah orang katakan. Make money lah. Tapi dia punya operational cost pun sangat tinggi. Pekerja dia bukan main ramai lagi tu. Atas jalan raya dia nak beli kereta. Kereta Pronda dia, JPJ punya dan sebagainya. It's a lot. Dia punya cost. All they doing is just they make some cost recovery kan. Dan sekarang ni kalau you beli nombor, setiap bulan ada kan beli nombor sekarang ada 13. Waktu Sabah Sarawak nombor-nombor lagi kan. Satu nombor boleh tekan 60,000, 70,000, 100,000 kan. Looks like a lot of money, but you must understand. 100,000 yang dia dapat tu boleh bayar gaji pengarah mungkin dalam 6 pengarah saja. 6 pengarah punya gaji. Dia punya staff berapa ramai dia, berapa ribu dia punya staff. Kan? Macam mana pula orang-orang ni dia nak bayar? Memang betul government ada bagi fund, tapi government pun akan cakap we allow you to make some money, so you have to use that money for ni lah juga. Boleh Ali
Boleh Prof, boleh.
Okay. So kalau you tengok pula airline macam AirAsia yang nampak gaya macam kata everybody can fly, nampak gaya macam tiket murah, they are all profit maximization. Dia bukan kata dia tak make profit, dia are profit maximization. That's the reality. Now, anybody can share with me tak? Bila dia tengok KPI dia, ada berapa banyak KPI dalam dia punya? Amarah, you pernah tengok you punya KPI tak? Roughly ada berapa banyak KPI?
Yang buat KPI.
Boleh share tak agak-agak berapa?
Selalunya kita set most probably maximum 5 lah. 4 to 5.
Okay. Ada tak orang lain dekat sini yang ada tengok dia punya KPI juga? Anybody else tak? Punitan ada apa? Punitan? Ada pernah tengok you punya KPI tak? Hmm. Ada tak? Atau ni Rosita, ada tak tengok you punya KPI?
My phone don't have KPI.
Apa dia? Sorry tak dengar.
My phone don't have any KPI.
Oh, you punya tak ada ya?
Tak ada.
Okay. Munira ada tak KPI?
Ada, like our daily KPI is actually we call it as a target. Tapi
Okay.
kalau untuk macam annual KPI, monthly KPI, kita compute in percentage lah. Let's say client lah. Kita ni
Okay.
project based. Client nak 97%. So kita kena more than 97%. If it's lower than that, dia akan jadi warna merah. Macam tu. Kalau our team lead present it to us, nanti dia tunjuklah first week, second week, warna merah, hijau. Hijau tu maknanya we exceed the benchmark lah, macam gitu.
Do you have a yearly KPI?
Yes, I think we do. We do have.
Okay. What tadi Kamarul said dia ada dalam 5 KPI. Sebenarnya KPI ni kenapa ada 5? Mungkin Kamarul boleh beritahu tak agak-agak kenapa ada 5? Ataupun 4 tadi you cakap. 4 atau 5, kenapa?
Because basically bila kita buat KPI tu, first and foremost we need to set our objective straight in terms of what is actually the main objective that we need to achieve and align with the company punya objective tu satu. And then it must be yang clear lah, very well clear definition in executions. Sebab kalau banyak sangat KPI tu, it becomes we consider kita tak fokus.
Ya.
Kita tak fokus in terms of delivering what's supposed to be delivered in the KPI. So most probably we will take the most 5 important items to be KPI or to be rated in the sessions.
Dia sebenarnya yang tadi you kata 4 atau 5 tu, dia sebenarnya kalau kita tengok best practice dia ya. Dia kalau best practice ni biasanya kita akan tengok dari top HR consulting punya company lah dia akan buat. So, kalau company dia tak tahu, dia akan minta consultant yang buatkan lah. Ataupun facilitate for the meetings dan sebagainya for first time lah. Kan? Mungkin bank rakyat pun mungkin ada pernah guna consultant for the first time. And after that, they work on it dan sebagainya. Sebenarnya best practice katakan macam Tower Watson ataupun apa tu, banyaklah company HR, Hayes kata. Ataupun kalau dulu saya pakai apa tu, Mercer. Jadi biasanya dia akan mengatakan KPI ni it should be in the range of between 4 to 6 or 5 to 7. Tapi saya lebih suka menggunakan 4 ke 6. Dan sebab saya pun agree, dia tidak boleh banyak sangat. Kalau 7 ni saya rasa terlampau banyak sangat. Bila 7, mana kata you akan bagi lebih kurang ada yang dalam 10 ke 15%. Jadi terlampau banyak sangat. Jadi every one of them 10 ke 15%. Jadi terlampau banyak dan dia punya weightage tu sikit. Jadi kalau 5 atau 4 ke 6, dia akan jadi weightage dia lebih kurang dalam 20. That means it's a serious one. Dan in fact dalam KPI yang besar tu, dia boleh ada kecil-kecil yang lain. In order for you to achieve the big one, you must achieve the small one. But we're not really interested in how you achieve the small one. It's just that the thought process will tell you, in order for you to achieve this, these are the things you must do. You yourself will know. Kalau tidak, I tak boleh achieve yang nombor besar ni. Okay. Lepas tu satu lagi, KPI ni sebenarnya by right lah. Dia per 100. Dia per 100. Dia kata you ada 5 lah. Ataupun 4, the real one. The last one, kalau ada 5, dia jadi down. Kalau 4, dia jadi 5. What I mean by this is that the last one must be ad hoc. You must put one element as an ad hoc. Kenapa saya katakan? Now, for example, if Kamaru were given a KPI ada 5 saja tanpa ad hoc, means these are the 5 things you do. Along the way, tiba-tiba CEO kata, kita kena refocus lah sedikit. Alright, so I have to add in certain things. Ataupun sekarang ni you punya portfolio kita kena tambah, you kena jumpa menteri ke, you kena pergi sana ke ni. Lepas tu you boleh question, kata, I cannot achieve that because I already have enough KPI. I wouldn't have enough time. Are you suggesting that when you develop the KPI, actually it's not 100% of my job? I'm only utilizing 70%. That means another 20, you are suggesting another 20% of my time it's idle. Maknanya saya boleh borak-borak, duduk, tidur, tak datang office. Boleh ke gitu? This is what you are suggesting. Kalau tidak, maknanya you are giving me more job, is completely turn to fail. Sebab I dah 100%, lepas tu you tambah lagi 20%, yang benda-benda lain, that means I dah tak boleh cope dah. This is wrong. Jadi untuk tidak ada this chaotic environment, what people usually do masa saya belajar dengan Mercer, dengan Tower Watson dan sebagainya, one of the last dalam KPI you yang memang you establish, you kena letak ad hoc. Ad hoc ni dia maknanya it can be anything lah, tapi anything ni tidaklah bermaksud anything yang tidak berkenaan dengan you punya tugas. Tapi dia mesti berkenaan dengan tugas you lah. Adalah kata you are a salesman, suddenly dia ask you to do to jaga library ke apa ke, tak boleh lah begitu. There must be something that is related.
Okay.
Dan tak boleh pula bila kata you bagi pegawai certain KPI, tiba-tiba dia punya ad hoc, engkau kena buat kopi. Tak boleh lah gitu. Kau tak buat kopi, ataupun tak buat photostat, then at the end of the year, this 10 marks, I tak akan bagi kat you. Tak boleh dia bentuk itu. Dia mesti dah berbentuk yang relevant. Itu yang dimaksudkan. Sebab bila you tak letak, then staff akan question. Oh, that's why I didn't achieve that one. Because I was doing this one. Yang ini sebenarnya bukan dalam KPI saya, tapi saya dipaksa buat. Yang itu KPI saya. Jadi dia tak boleh macam tu. That's why in order, because it is sebenarnya KPI ni is a performance contract. So, bila you bagi KPI pada awal tahun, you kena the staff to agree on this thing. Dua parti ni kena agree. Okay, this is how you're going to be evaluated. Yes, correct. Yes. Okay, sign. Cukup tahu nanti I can evaluate against you, then sign. You agree, tak agree dan sebagainya. Kan? Ni kadang-kadang, macam mana?
Tapi macam the way that I practice on KPI ni, because we have to be agile kan along the years kan, because like we have 12 months kan, and we take an example. So what I did with my team to basically, I noted on the prof punya comment in terms of we need to have the extra one, but as just now you said that this is actually it's like a performance contract kan. So basically what we did, we only tweak the percentage of the KPI tau. Because some of the item basically bila kata let's say kita ada benda ad hoc lah, mengejut kan nak buat kan, but it will, that ad hoc item will touch certain KPI kriteria yang ada kita set tu, and some of the weightage tu we have to play around. Maknanya sebelum ni kalau kata let's say for example we ambil contoh for instance 55 KPIs, but when we have some ad hoc that touches one of the KPIs so the percentage or the weightage you become different lah. Maknanya it become like 30, 20, 15 something because there are certain tasks that is now yang dulu dia sama I would say setara, but now it becomes more critical, and then this is where we slot in the, I would say, itemnya ad hoc lah. Because if let's say we put an ad hoc KPI though, last time I tried to did that, but it becomes that particular function tu it becomes a weightage on its own. Maknanya dia jadi boleh ubah. Katalah let's say tahun ni I buat satu je ad hoc item kan, but you weightage at the same rate as the other, so it becomes full mark at that area tau. Macam tu.
Dia sama juga. Jadi kadang-kadang kalau kita pergi negara-negara barat, for example, because they have 4 different seasons. We don't talk about the corporate punya ni lah. We talk about agriculture, for example. Certain months they cannot harvest, for example. Certain months they have to work longer. For example, bila summer je, memang long hours. So you cannot be expected to work until 5. Sebab pukul 8 malam pun masih panas lagi. Masih terang lagi. So, and in the summer, they usually harvest the fruits lah. Katakan strawberry kan. Kita tengok strawberry dia juga. Saya sendiri dekat ladang strawberry. Dan saya bila summer je, saya akan balik pukul 8 malam. 8-9 malam. Jadi, masa tu kerja sangat berat because in the morning you have to harvest the the strawberry, and then you take to the factory. You have to clean the strawberry kan. And then you masuk, you dah clean, lepas tu dah habis proses clean, you masuk dalam factory betul. This is where you do the packing dan sebagainya. Jadi tapi you tak boleh buat benda yang sama pada musim sejuk, for example. Tak ada. Aktiviti ni tak ada katakan. Aktiviti yang ada benda lain. Jadi the KPI tu dia akan set dalam masa yang berlainan. Untuk 3 bulan dia macam ni, lepas tu 3 bulan macam ni dan sebagainya lah. So then that means they do expect the staff to be agile. Dia tak kata macam consulting katakan. Dalam consulting very simple. Dalam consulting dia kata okay, you as a business partner, you have to bring in 5 million. Pandai-pandai kau lah. Macam mana you want to get the 5 million? Whether you want to get it at the beginning of the year, you're going to get it sometime musim sama ke, atau you're going to get it during Christmas ke. Itu pandai-pandai kau. Janji, I get my 5 million first. Then partner ni dia punya kerja adalah dia kena cari job. Dia bukan buat report consulting tu, dia tak buat. Jadi orang yang buat report consulting kat belakang, apa saya nak buat? Job tak ada. Job tak ada. Apa saya nak buat? Jadi question dia macam tu. For example, one of my friends, they work with one of the local consulting firm, yang Malaysian punya local consulting firm yang sebenarnya banyak dapat job daripada negara-negara Afrika dan juga Middle East. Dekat Malaysia ni dia dah kurang dapat job, tapi dia dulu popular di Malaysia lah. So dia bagi tahu kat saya, dia kata, bang, ini dah nak masuk bulan berapa ni bang? Dah nak habis tahun dah ni, dah masuk bulan 10. Dia orang ni cakap hari tu kita boleh dapat job ni. Jadi apa? Tapi job tak masuk. Bila tak masuk, kita orang yang duduk kat office ni jadi resah lah sebab tak ada kerja. Macam mana you nak nampak busy? You faham tak? Macam mana you nak dapat busy? Sebab job tak sampai. Job tak sampai. Jadi you nak, apa you buat? You tolong kawan-kawan you buat slides. Tapi that is not your real job. That is your friend's punya job. Jadi dia kata, takkanlah you datang office, pegang laptop, lepas tu tak tahu apa nak buat. Because you are not assigned to any particular project. Consultancy project. Sedangkan dah masuk bulan 10. Kan? Dah masuk bulan 10 dah. A lot of the contract masa tu tak masuk lagi. Yang sepatutnya masuk bulan 6 tak masuk dan sebagainya. Ada delay. Dia macam-macam lah. Jadi tidak masuk. Okay, jadi bila tak masuk, nanti kan macam mana I nak jawab kepada I punya business partner saya. I mean the partner of the company. Sedangkan dia yang cari job. Kita tukang buat saja. Contoh itu pun ada juga. Jadi benda tu jadi kata merba. Yang senangnya ialah orang-orang yang buat operation. You pun tahu apa kerja dia orang setiap tahun dan sebagainya. Dia pun tahu rutin job. Itu senang buat KPI lah. Dan ada mungkin cabaran-cabaran ni. So this is what I want to expose you on KPIs. So you should know KPI should have between 5 to 6 or 4 to 6 ataupun 5 to 7. And kalau boleh satu tu mestilah ada ad hoc supaya it's easier for you to maneuver lah along the way untuk tambahkan kerja ke ataupun minta bantuan ke dan sebagainya kepada you punya staff untuk buat kerja lah yang tiba-tiba menjadi pressing at that particular time, for example. Okay, any other questions that anybody like to ask ataupun dia mungkin buat cara lain sikit dekat organisation dia? Ada ke?
Prof, I just want
no.
to ask about the ad hoc KPI.
Yeah.
Because this is called ad hoc KPI, we can put this KPI at any time. But is it
dia bukan put at any time. Yang saya maksudkan
Okay.
sini at the beginning of the year when you do the contract tu, you letak satu elemen katakan 10%. 10% I put ad hoc. Dia begitu.
Okay.
Jadi that's what I meant lah. Dia bukan kata kita letak anytime tu lah.
This
Mungkin
means
anytime tu
we
sorry.
this means we have to inform our subordinate, say okay, next year we will put 20% for ad hoc KPI.
Yeah.
Is it like that?
Yes. Masa
Like,
dia sign
okay,
tu dia tahu 20% of it is ad hoc. So but like I said,
Okay.
the boss cannot abuse this lah. Katakan dia kata, oh you see my driver
Okay.
is not around, you become my driver lah. Tak boleh macam tu lah kan. Itu tak fair lah. Dia mesti kerja
Okay.
dia ada kena mengena dengan kerja dia lah. Lebih kurang begitu. Kan tak boleh lah kata tiba-tiba manager, manager, I don't think we want to replace our tea lady lah katakan. Now I think since then I think you have to rotate and ask all the staff to do the tea lah for everybody katakan. Tak boleh lah macam tu. And because that's not a
Okay.
professional job yang sepatutnya align to whatever they are doing. Right? Yang itu kena hati-hati.
Okay. Understood,
Selalunya
Prof.
macam ni, selalunya dalam organisation, dia ada beberapa function. For example, ada
Mhm.
orang nak datang, menteri nak datang ke, somehow they have like a ceremony dan sebagainya, where everybody have to majlis hari raya ke, whatever it is, yang dari staff kata, hey, I don't want to do the job. Why should I do the job? Right? Because if I do the job, then it will be at the expense of what you are going to evaluate me. Saya tak boleh buat kerja saya. Saya ada report lepas tu nak kena buat ni. Mana boleh? Kan? I pun ada 8 jam je satu hari. Ni kalau I buat macam ni, I kena balik pukul 10 malam. Not fair lah. Kan? So the boss said, no. This is part of the ad hoc thing that I mentioned just now. You being a corporate punya orang, you kena juga buat benda-benda.
Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Okay? But this has to be made clear. Kalau tidak, staff akan question lah. Apa you maksud ad hoc ni? Nanti kan you suruh I kerja buat bukan-bukan, I pun tak boleh agree. Kan? Or something like that. Okay. Any other questions? Of course, if you want to learn how to do KPI dan sebagainya, that's a different thing. That will take a long time lah. Ada juga dulu bila saya bagi training. This is what I got lah. Dia sebenarnya, development of KPI ni is not a one-day job. Ataupun it's not that simple and it's usually very expensive. Kalau panggil Mercer ke Tower Watson ke ataupun apa ni Century ke ataupun siapa-siapa yang top ni kita kata, can you come over to my company and do a KPI for our divisions dan sebagainya. They charge a lot of money. They charge a lot of money because they have to facilitate you to understand you punya business dan sebagainya, then they have to cascade it down to something that is agreeable to all parties. It takes time. So kalau dalam training ke dan sebagainya, kita tak buat benda ni. Kita tak buat benda ni because we are not here to understand about your company. We are here to teach you how those things are done. That means you balik, you kena buat sendiri. Because you kena facilitate you punya business dan sebagainya. It's not a standard punya macam ni. Kata kalau you pergi Google, you kata, can I get a template of KPI? Boleh lah you dapat. Tapi apa yang you nak kena isi tu is, you need to understand about your organisation. Kalau you panggil consultant pun, they need to understand about your organisation. Dia bukan kata, I have a magic template where I can just put it like that. Ataupun I have a dictionary. This means this means that. Itu kan macam, kalau you pergi beli dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, dia ada satu buku kan. You tengok dalam tu baca. Dia dalam consulting, dia tak ada. Atau dalam HR, dia tak ada. Nah, ambil satu buku ni, you buka apa-apa company, you ikut buku ni. Tak ada. Doesn't work like that. KPI doesn't work like that. You need to understand your business. Every business is different. Dia punya expectation and performance. This is what I look at it. Okay, ada soalan nak tanya along that line? Ada ke nak tanya apa-apa soalan? Okay, boleh Okay, kalau tak ada, then the next things that I want to cover is actually organization punya culture. Organization culture and mindset. Okay, dalam talent management, kita mesti ada organization culture and juga management. So what does it mean by this? Anybody can define what is organization culture? Mana kita nak define organization culture? Apa itu organization culture? Ataupun kalau you tak tahu organization culture, what is culture? Ali boleh cuba Ali. What is culture? Ada tak?
What is culture?
What do you understand when people say culture, organization culture?
I think it is the norms of the way we do things at the organization.
Culture ni ialah macam it is a norm in such a way. It's a norm lah kan, because but this norm is actually the one defined by the organization. So certain organization, masa saya dulu belajar dulu, dia tak boleh pakai kasut, dia punya culture tak boleh pakai kasut brown. Kasut brown ni dia consider unofficial. Dia kira apa tu casual. Walaupun kasut brown ni sebenarnya dia laces dan nampak formal, tetapi dia culture organisation ni tidak boleh pakai kasut brown. Dan dia organisation ni dia ada culture di mana pants must be tailored pants. Dia tak boleh kata cotton pants dan sebagainya, tak boleh. That one maybe certain organisation they emphasize more on the hardware lah, maknanya the way you present yourself dan sebagainya lah kan. Ya, betul. Itu some organization culture kan. Kalau kita pergi parlimen, sekarang ni the culture dalam parlimen adalah kita tak payah pakai tie. Tetapi tak payah pakai tie itu hanya kepada wakil rakyat saja. Tetapi bagi orang yang pergi parlimen, nak masuk dalam parlimen tu orang biasa semua kena pakai tie. That is a culture. Itu culture. Ayah Munira ada benda nak tanya, ya?
For my company, can I say that culture yang dalam project I ni lah, because like different project, different culture, they increase sense of belonging, and they also appreciate people who voice out.
Okay.
Macam tu. So I'm not sure if it works the same dekat company lain. Tapi kalau macam kita orang, they sometimes like every fiscal year they will give out a form, Google form, and the staff needs to fill it up. Macam bagi tahulah, the staff will be anonymous lah. Dia tak tahulah kan siapa yang letak this kind of marks ke, they mention nama siapa-siapa ke. So it's easier for the management and also for the supervisor to take note on which team leads yang problematic, which team leads yang macam kind of have a favoritism, macam tu. So that is culture in my company lah, how they collect voices from staff.
Ya, boleh. I can agree to that. Maybe I would say, because you say different team dan sebagainya, maybe this is more what we call subculture. Okay, maybe because dalam consulting firm ni, kebiasaannya apa yang berlaku ialah they have team leads. So sometimes the way you do things is that there is a little bit of variation between one team to another team, whereby dia ada what we call subculture. Okay. Sama juga dengan dulu, many years ago when I was doing my masters dulu lah, one of my earlier masters tahun 2008 macam. And then I was studying about ethics. And that time there was some critique about police lah. Masa tu banyak orang kata polis ni ambil duit lah itu. And then, so it came up very rampantly in the newspaper lah kan. Dan kebetulan kita pula belajar pasal ethics kan. So there was a funny thing that came out in the newspaper where one of the complainants too was a policeman. So he actually complained that he didn't get enough money. So then kita pun terkejut. Macam mana pula ini boleh complain dia didn't get enough money from operation. Rupanya dia kata gini, the operation tu dia pun explain macam mana berlakunya penipuan dalam operation, where dia buat roadblocks dan sebagainya. Daripada situ baru kita belajar lah, rupanya roadblock ni mesti ada 5 orang. Bukan boleh ada 2 orang saja, minimum dia kena ada 5. Jadi daripada 5, salah seorang daripada dia mestilah pangkat lagi tinggi daripada lain. But that is the official roadblock. There's no such thing as a roadblock less than 5 people. Atau 2 orang, atau 2 orang. Yang itu dah tak betul. Jadi dia ni yang keluar cerita. Tapi apa yang dia bagi tahu ialah dia tak puas hati, dia tidak dapat abang nanti. Because dia kata orang lain dapat abang nanti. So bila dia tanya dengan polis dan sebagainya, polis akan deny. Dia kata, oh no, this is not the culture. Jadi that's to make it clear untuk punish that particular group of people. They call it subculture. Maknanya this culture belongs to this group of people sahaja. This is how they operated. They operated illegally and they believe that this is the right way of doing things lah. Of course, all of them get were taken action after that kan. This is what we call subculture. Ya. Sama juga bila kita kerja dengan big organisation. Saya di Islamic Development Bank, where we have so many people from different countries. We have at least 30 over nationalities dan sebagainya. And then of course you can also see that some of these people they tend to work closely with the people of same nationalities dan sebagainya. So they have certain subcultures. Contohnya they may agree on certain days they will use their traditional dress. Dan kan bank kita tidak mengatakan anything about national dress. Dia cuma kata you have to wear formal. So some people define formal tu national dress dia, sedangkan national dress dia tu formal di negara dia, tapi dia bukan formal kat negara-negara yang lain. Tapi for these people they have the subculture, certain days kita akan pakai national. Itu subculture. Clear dah guys? So bila kita, okay. Why this organization culture is very important? Because every company dia kena ada dia punya goals dan sebagainya. So they need to create certain culture so that people are aligned to this idea of achieving whatever they want to achieve. That's the whole idea. So they need to define that. So now, how they articulate this is that they can articulate this in policies. They can articulate this in the normal operation yang dia buat. Contohnya normal operation, our culture is that everybody must wear the same uniform. Okay, we don't want to differentiate. Some people can wear Gucci ke, dan some people will wear something very cheap. Ada. Semua orang kena pakai uniform. Contohnya, dulu masa, do you know kenapa sekolah rendah dulu, sekolah menengah dulu semua pakai uniform? Do you know, have you ever asked your parents, why are we required to use uniform when we go to kindergarten, we don't have to use uniform? Ataupun iyalah, some kindergarten memang pakai uniform. Tapi banyak juga yang dulu tak payah pakai uniform. Tiba-tiba masuk sekolah rendah aja kena pakai uniform. Sama aja. Jadi it looks very boring. For 6 years you wear the same kind of uniform. Tahu tak kenapa? Anybody? Tahu tak? Robin tahu tak Robin? Kenapa Robin? Kita pakai uniform.
It's a shared values.
Correct. Yes, something to do with shared values.
I think it's the shared belief, the attitude, and the behavior
Okay.
that shape every student that wear that wore the uniform.
Ya, samalah macam kata kita pakai baju seragam tentera ke apa kan, there are certain values that we have to emphasize. Tapi dalam case ni dia nak tunjuk these are all students, we are not differentiating them whether they come from rich family, poor family, kita tak nak differentiate. So kita nak everybody coming to the school with the same kind of behaviors. That's what we meant by that. Betul kan? Itu yang kita masukkan culture. The organization must define their own culture. So that people can live in harmony and they also know what kind of people they want to recruit in the future. Kalau dia tak tahu the culture that they want to instill, then susah lah. Then they will get people yang mungkin ada talent tapi they have a conflict dalam culture. Jadi satu benda yang akan menjadikan sedikit kekeliruan lah. People will feel this is a different behavior dan sebagainya yang mungkin can disrupt to our daily operations because of certain things yang sebenarnya for majority of us we don't adhere to this culture first. Itu yang kita masukkan sebagai. Okay, so kalau if you want to go into details about this organization culture, it will take long time lah. Because organization culture ni dia ada banyak dia punya parameters that we have to look. Not just the hardware aspect, mana dia pakai baju kalau apa dan sebagainya, but also the soft elements as well. Contoh kalau kita pergi sekarang function kerajaan, dia akan start semua dengan negaraku lah. Kalau ada perhimpunan semua ada negaraku dan sebagainya. Lepas tu dia akan ada aku janji pula. So this is the new culture. This is a culture that I think the government wants to instill, that people rakyat ni kena memahami ataupun pejabat kerajaan mesti memahami bila mereka menjalankan tugas, they have to understand that they actually working for the country. This is dia punya aku janji dia lah. Things like so these sort of things are very very important lah. I would say very important dalam kita berdasarkan culture yang ada. Okay. Now, of course, it is a little bit more challenging if you try to work for a multinational corporations. Now, multinational corporations ni, MNCs, as you know, they have certain culture of doing things. Walaupun bila dia pergi kepada negara-negara yang lain, kata dia datang ke Malaysia dan sebagainya, they may hire Malaysians, tetapi they do expect these people to have certain culture yang di mana negara-negara lain yang they exist there, they want you to embrace the same culture. That contohnya macam Shell dulu masa dulu Shell. Shell ni dulu lagi dia dah ada one day work from, dia dah ada. Tak kira you duduk dekat Nigeria ke kat mana ke, memang one day in a week you are asked to work from. Dia dah jadi culture. Dia bukan sebab COVID-19. Dia dah ada daripada dulu lagi. Culture dia seminggu, satu hari, you boleh pilih hari apa-apa. Kalau minggu ni hari Khamis, minggu depan hari Rabu pun tak apa, tak ada masalah. Tapi you are entitled for bekerja dari rumah. Okay, itu dia start dengan itulah. And only after that they start with other elements where there are days that work from home dan sebagainya lah, tidak ada masalah. Okay? Ada soalan-soalan nak tanya? Okay. Kalau tak ada, I want to give you maybe about sekarang ni pukul berapa? 10. I want you to think about something. I want to give you a little bit of time, and then I want you to lead the discussion, so that everybody else can also facilitate this. Okay? Now, we talk about just now. We talk about performance. Now, I want you to maybe if you want to Google, you can Google. If you want to you want to figure out lah, macam mana nak buat ni pun boleh juga. Ya. Oh, Izzat tadi dia keluar sekejap
Yes, sir. So sorry. I punya bateri habis.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Okay. Tak apa. Now what I want you guys to do is that I want you to I give you maybe berapa minit I boleh bagi. Lepas tu I nak you buat the presentation sekejap ataupun tak payah presentation, you have you lead the discussion. Okay. I nak you spend maybe about 10 minutes. 10 minutes boleh kot. Lama sangat kan tak tahu pula apa jadi kan. 10 minutes lah. Let's give 10 minutes. I want you to have a look at job description. Ya, boleh tak? You tengok, you Google ke, you ataupun you ada you punya own, cuma you check on the job description. Okay, and then I want you to tell me what is the job descriptions and what do you usually see in the job descriptions? Why are they aligned to that? What is the thought process behind developing a job description? Is it okay? Sekarang ni dalam 10:41. So 10 minutes boleh? Dalam 10:51 ke macam tu? Is it okay? Saya nak you cari apa tu job description. Okay? Atau you ada sendiri job description. So what I want you to do is that I want you to find out what is the job description, how does it look like, what are the elements inside the job description, why are they done in such a way. Right, so I want after this, like after 10 minutes, after 10 minutes bila kita start ni, find out those things, and then when we meet, then I want you to facilitate the discussion. How does it look like? Okay, and then you rationalize kenapa ada job description, because I think this is something that people are more familiar with, because when they sign for a job, they usually get their job description. So they should have some idea what is inside the job. Okay? Boleh?
Can, Prof, can. I will try.
Okay, cuba.
Basically, kalau dia job JD, biasanya dia akan ada basic overview of the job.
Okay.
Lepas tu, sometimes they will have the overview of the company as well.
Okay.
And then they will have the responsibilities of the employee. The person is, like responsibility of the staff lah. If let's say they are applying for the job. And then what are the jobs that need to be done. Lepas tu, dia akan ada, biasanya dia akan, some companies dia akan minta, dia akan letak KPI ataupun anything that need to be achieved, like target dia orang, dia akan ada kadang-kadang. Lepas tu dia akan ada requirement macam qualification, studies. Lepas tu sometimes dia akan ada certain specific certification dia akan minta. Biasanya selain daripada tu,
Apa lagi yang ada? Apa yang lagi? Yeah, I think you mentioned most of it quite common that job jadi ada. Ada tak lagi yang ada lain tak lagi? Ataupun somebody else yang mungkin boleh tambah ke? Probably you have a look at it slightly differently ke? Ada tak?
Saya, sir?
Okay, boleh?
Okay, I'm looking at my own job description. Actually, for me, this job description is actually a formal document to outline what are the duties, which is my essential responsibilities. And also in my job description mentioned about the qualification
Okay,
and all.
lagi?
Okay, and most important thing that I see in my job description is like the job title,
Okay.
the purpose of the brief
Objective dia
of
lah.
the objective,
Okay.
and then list of duties that I have,
Okay.
and working condition.
Working
Where
condition tu macam mana? Boleh explain tak?
working condition too is the environment, whether I'll be stationed in like my role, I have two offices.
Okay.
I'll be stationed in HQ and also at Cyberjaya.
Okay.
So those are the conditions lah.
Okay.
And then also mention about the direct reporting.
Okay, yes. Okay.
So
Dia
far
akan
that's
tunjuk where are
all.
you in the organisation, where are you in the organisation chart lah kan? This
Yes.
position is reporting to who dan sebagainya kan? Okay.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Ada tak siapa-siapa yang I think apa yang Iza cakap tadi dengan Tavindran cakap tadi tu, these are quite common things yang ada. Ada tak orang lain dapat lain sikit lagi? Ada tak?
Doctor, can I say something?
Yes, Rosita.
Okay. For me, a job description macam like it's a like portfolio, is it?
Okay.
I know that as a portfolio because
Yeah.
it's like macam it's a similar thing.
Okay.
Job description apa yang okay, like your responsibility, what you have done and what you will do next. I mean, if a company to give you the job description lah.
Okay. Ada lagi tak lain daripada tu?
Basically, job description ni for me lah kan, it tells responsibility of that job, satu, and then the qualification required for that job.
Okay.
And then dia ada job summary lah, which is what the job supposed to, why
Dia
we,
macam job objective. Job objective dia kan?
then the demands from the job. Demands from the positions lah. That's why we have the job descriptions tu.
Qualification tu semua ada lah kan? Okay. Saya nak tanya, ada tak orang yang dapat slightly lain yang di mana dia ada tulis these jobs deals directly internally dengan siapa, externally dengan siapa? Ada tak? Mana kata this job ni, orang yang buat kerja ni, dia duduk di department mana? Dan department mana yang sebenarnya akan dia bekerjasama dengan?
Ada. Seperti ada. Ada.
Dan dia akan kata these are internal parties and these are external parties. Kalau ada external parties lah. Kalau tak ada internal parties, kalau external parties, tak ada external party, dia tulis internal. For example, dia akan kata, okay, you are the IT department katakan. You are expected to work with all the departments katakan. Okay, senanglah. Yang ni dia kena work dengan all departments. Tapi katakanlah you are in HR department. You kena bekerjasama dengan orang-orang yang ini saja. Lain daripada ni, you tak payah deal. For example. That's what it means lah. Okay, so then you are very clear in your job responsibilities lah. Okay. Okay, job description. Macam mana the idea of developing the job description? What you mentioned just now is the job yang apa yang ada dalam tu. Tapi macam mana kita nak buat job description ni? Macam mana the idea of doing this job description? If you are asked to draft the job description, apa yang you buat?
Looking of what position?
Okay. Looking at what position? Okay. Okay, now you identify lah position tu, katakanlah senior management of operations. Macam mana you nak create a job description? If you were given an assignment, prepare a job description about senior of a senior apa itulah manager for operation in the team. Mana you nak? Apa you start dulu? Workload, okay. Macam mana you define
What
workload?
are we need to have a job?
Ya, biasanya, okay. Biasanya, kalau kita nak tahu apa macam mana nak start dulu-dulu, kita mesti faham apakah position ni dalam organisation, macam mana dia boleh sumbang kepada kejayaan organisation. So, dalam kata pendek, what is the objective of this role? Macam mana objektif role ni ditubuhkan dengan objektif apa? You must create with something like that. That's why kata tadi ada kawan-kawan you kata summary of the jobs katakan. Sebenarnya summary of the job tu ataupun description dipanggil description of the job. The whole thing is called job description. Tapi dia ada satu portion tu dia tak nak, untuk tidak mengelirukan, dia akan gunakan objective of the job. Sebenarnya objective of the job tu is to describe about that particular job on a high level. Tanpa cerita qualification. Qualification tu is like another another section lah. Dia akan cerita pasal organisation, working experience dan sebagainya. Tapi this is just to give an idea what is the objective of this particular job. So persoalan dia sekarang yang saya tanya tadi, objektif ni dia dapat daripada mana? Jadi jawapan dia kena dapat, if I were to put this position in the organisation, then I should know this is actually the purpose of the establishment of this position dalam organisation. Kalau tidak, then position tu tidak ada lah dalam organisation. Itu yang dimaksudkan.
Tak ada, so far okay.
Okay, tak ada. Saya nak tanya awak. What is your comment on that?
Comment on JD, is it?
Yes.
Nothing much like similar to others, doctor. So if you ask me, I will say that it's like a guidelines for both for the employer and employee, like with all the detailing about the jobs and the tasks which is going to involve, and plus in the JD itself, we already explained about the skills and the qualification, what the organizations needed. Like just now, you want a senior manager ke apa kan? So kita dah bagi tahu dah dekat JD itself the qualification, the skills, so that bila orang nak apply pun it's easy for them to apply for the employee end. From employer end, they will get the right candidate for the skills or knowledge or whatever they're looking at it lah. That's macam kind of my understanding.
Okay. Why I introduced the idea of job description is because just now we talk about performance. Right? Now, this is where I want to share the connectivity between job description and performance, because this is where you actually decide later on what performance contract that you should develop. Because when you understand what is the objective of these particular positions, then you will know that these are the responsibilities that comes with that, ataupun accountability that comes with that job. Then from there, you are able to establish the KPI. That was the thing that I was trying to connect between the job descriptions as well as the performance contract. But kalau tidak, nanti bila you buat the performance contract, you understand that actually this KPI needs to be cascaded down. Because at the company's level, we can understand these are the things that the company must achieve. Therefore, it has to be cascaded down. Tetapi dia nak cascade kepada siapa? Siapa yang kena buat benda ni? Therefore, you need to look at the job descriptions because you understand when you do a job description, dia ada objective for that particular position. So, macam mana you ada job description tetapi dia punya KPI tu dia tidak sampai di tempat orang yang betul. Sebab you tak faham apa kerja orang. That's what I'm trying to show you the connectivity. Dan bila saya kata, what are the linkages between the this particular job dan department lain yang dia terlibat internal dan external dan sebagainya, it is also trying to tell you that when you cascade down the KPIs, there are some other KPIs that are cascaded down through this connectivity. Jadi kita boleh detect siapakah orang-orang lain yang terlibat dalam satu KPI yang sama. That's what it means. Okay? Sebab benda ini bila kita buat, dia ada thought process. Dia bukan dia buat macam cacah merba saja. Any organization bila dia buat, dia akan buat yang, that's why I said when you look at it, many of you seems to give similar answers. But what I was looking at is what is the thought process behind it. There must be a certain way of you developing a job description. So that's why I was trying to tailor the discussion and say that how is this developed? So first of all, you must have the objective of the jobs. That how do you derive the objective of the job? It is due to the positions of in the organization, how this position contributes to the organization. That's why when somebody comes in, say for example, your friend were to come in and then you try to create a job for your organization and then you create the JD. Now that can be done. But what is it in the bigger perspective? Does this particular position sebenarnya perlu ke tak perlu? That's why sometimes organizations, they do what we call downsizing. Downsizing. Downsizing ni kadang-kadang tak sedap nak dengar. Selalunya dalam corporate world kita tak guna downsizing because downsizing ni kadang-kadang it has some negative implication showing that the company is not doing well. So what is a more acceptable term is that they call it right sizing. So macam mana dia nak buat right sizing? Dia biasanya buat right sizing sama juga macam mana dia nak create jobs. That means they look at the objective of the organizations and then from there they will see that this particular job ni siapa yang boleh buat. What are the positions required of the things boleh buat? Apakah skill set yang dia require? That's what they put in the job description. Jadi bila kita tanya apa yang ada dalam tu and then some of you say the qualification and then so on and working experience. So the reason is that when we ask why is these positions required to have those kind of information? Mungkin ada sebab because if you say that this is an engineering job, so we want to make sure what kind of engineering qualification enables you to do this job efficiently. Kan? Ataupun kalau you are in the communications. So these are the kind of things that I would like you to understand. Sebab these are the things bila you menjawab dalam peperiksaan dan sebagainya, these are the things that needs to come out. Dia bukan kata job description has all this. Dia tidak boleh macam tu. Sebab tu saya kata tadi at the very beginning, I did mention to you when the questions in the exams that comes out, it requires you to do on assessment, evaluation and synthesis. Jawapan dia tidak ada dalam internet. That's why when I give you the 10 minutes actually for you to get the job description, it's just 1 minute. You just Google benda tu keluar. I wanted to give you that extra 9 minutes to think about how they are derived. What are the thought process behind it? Macam mana the things are interconnected. That's why when you have objective of the positions, then after that it comes with the responsibilities. Because the responsibility is actually meeting the objective. In order for you to do that, these are the skill sets which are required. For example, academic qualifications ataupun you punya number of working experience and so on. And then they will tell you that these are the parties that you are licensed with lah dengan department internal ataupun external dan sebagainya. So these are the usual things that we had in there. so that you can see that this is the rationale of why the position is created. Kenapa position ni exist dalam organization. Okay, any questions that you'd like to ask? Ataupun any comments? Camelia, ada comments apa-apa ke?
Tak
Ataupun
ada,
Lo,
Prof. Thank you.
ada komen apa-apa?
Okay, I can say probably for the JD, I think company always like they're running a new project, like my company here.
Yep.
Okay, when we let off expertise,
Okay.
we let off expertise like we need to run to how to say to Taiwan, but the people here probably cannot speak Chinese, some of the expertise. So we need to hire the people from Taiwan to handle the project. Okay, so normally we will set expectation to that person. Probably like we create JD for the position that we want him or her to handle and the requirement for everything like is it she or he will be under permanent or contract basis? Okay, then the working environment will be on site or work from home or hybrid. Okay, and with the working hours, whether he or she have to working shift or have to working normal hours, and the salary range because different uh different geopolitical everything, so would be different for the salary range and for the tax, for the expectation, and what is come from he or she, what is they want us to support him or her, and what is a company expect the contribution from him or her, and how long for the project period to complete. Okay, and also what is the team that he or she had to manage at that country. Okay, always we will seek the people, we will put the not advertising, the JD on internet is something like that because it's slightly different if compared to Malaysia here.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Yes,
is my
I think there I can agree with you though, because JD ni dia from one country to another country they may be slightly different. Yeah, they might be different for many reasons. One of it is maybe requirements.
Yes.
Different countries have different requirements. They look at this
Mm.
as a stringent in a document, for example. Some organization they look at this as a way to actually ensure that you really know what you're doing, and then because the same things cannot be replicated in your performance contract. So that means when we give you a performance contract, it is because you have a certain skill set.
Yeah.
Jadi skill set tu kita kena tengok dekat job description. So there are two different documents of which they don't really tell you, but they expect you to know, because when you assume a particular position, then you have the job descriptions. So dalam job description tu articulates clearly these are your responsibilities, these are the thing that you must be done dan sebagainya lah. You technically must have. That's why this document is very important. Because bila organisation bagi you satu performance contract yang dalam job description dia berbeza, definitely you will know that the things that you cannot achieve. Itu yang saya maksudkan tadi.
Yeah, but sometimes when we perform an interview, it's quite difficult because the people from that country, because we cannot use up the physical interview, but only visual. So we have to trust everything that he or she provide, like the information about the project accomplishment in previous company and what is the skill set like process everything. So we need to trust him or her, but of course the final choose will be up to the top management. But sometimes it's quite difficult because there is quite a little bit take risk when we choose the person like we really don't know, but just using trust to make sure the people that we hire is in the right position. But this is how to say, it's just like gambling.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So sebenarnya job description ni memang penting ya. Job description ni sangat penting supaya it becomes a document to understand for both parties, not just employee but also for employer. For employer, they are the one who set the job description. Then they should know what is actually required and how this particular position assists company lah in the long run
Yeah.
ataupun macam mana dia nak operate. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to ask about these job descriptions? Okay. Kalau tak ada, I want to give you another 5 minutes to look at this thing and then I would like to discuss with you. Yeah, I give you 5 minutes dalam sekarang ni 11.20. Okay, dalam 25 macam tu lah ke? Ataupun sekejap lagi. I briefly tell you what it is and then we can talk about it shortly. Yeah? I want you to tell me what is a job families? What is a job family? And then I want you to tell me in your organization itself whether this sort of thing exists ke tidak. Kalau dia exist, apakah mekanism yang di use to be the thought process for job families. Okay, I give you 5 minutes to look at it, job families, and then after that I want you to to share lah how it is done in your organization and macam mana, how does it work. Okay, so 11.25 ya. Alright.
Sorry, Prof. Prof,
Yeah.
tadi job family.
Families, job families.
Job families, okay.
Try to look first into that. Okay, what is a job family? How does it function? And if it functions in your organization, share with us apa yang dimaksudkan. Boleh start. What is a job description? What is a job families?
So what I understand, job family is a group of roles that perform similar functions, although they may have different responsibilities, but their function is in the similar scope.
Boleh bagi contoh tak? Ataupun how does it work in your organization?
In my profession, okay, in my line of work, a job family of pilot could be grouped into the same category as cabin crew, as maybe the ground staff, those people who are responsible for the operations of the flight.
Okay. Mungkin yang ini kena dipatkan lagi sikit. Okay, tak apa. Nanti we'll get back to you. Okay, boleh kita cuba try. Munira, boleh? Do you have any idea what is a job families?
I guess like different types of role which has similar responsibilities. Like in my department, we have, I work in compliance.
Okay.
So we have a few small groups. This group A, they handle KYC, know your customer. Group B handle AML, anti-money laundering, something like that. So these are the job families.
These are the job families. Okay, right. Kita cuba Khairul, boleh Khairul? What is a job family? Khairul ada? Okay, kalau tak ada, kita cuba Izzah. Izzah ada Izzah? What is a job family? Ada tak? Ataupun Rosita? Boleh Rosita? Apa tu job families?
Sorry. For me, doctor is similar with them, but
With apa? Sorry?
similar dengan diorang, then.
Okay.
But sometimes one department do the same thing, but I'm a corporate department.
Okay.
Do the same thing, due region.
Okay.
But different tasks. I'm not too sure that one we call
job families.
Yeah, because different tasks, the same department, And then ya lah, betul lah. Similar type of job. Itu sama, but
Dia macam ni. Kalau senang nak ingat, a family. Apa ada dalam family? Dalam family ada adik-beradik. Dalam adik-beradik ni, adakah mereka orang yang sama ke orang yang lain?
ada sister, brother, different.
Adakah mereka orang yang sama ke orang lain?
Lain.
Dia bukan orang sama. Takkan you sama dengan abang you. Takkan you sama dengan adik you.
Benefit sama, that's all.
Dia lain. Tapi parents dia sama. Bila parents dia sama, dia mesti ada cara apa tu, dia punya tujuan dia yang sama. For example, that's what it means. So technically, what it means is that when I talk about job families or any organization that talks about job families, they are talking about people who actually holds different responsibilities. Dia bukan identical responsibilities. They hold different. So in some ways tadi, Ali kata tadi, ya, ada orang tu dan ni. Tetapi, they can also perform that particular division job orang lain tu buat. Contohnya, kalau dalam organisation kita ada economist. Selalunya economist dan statistics ni dia bekerja sama. Selalunya salah satu dari position ni dia tidak ada. Dia punya, kenapa kita adakan dia family? Sebab salah satu dari position ni they don't have a higher positions. Ya, maknanya kalau you statisticians lah, especially statisticians, bila dia buat kerja dekat bawah, dia ada. Sama, economist pun ada dekat bawah. Bila dia naik manager, dua-dua pun ada. Tapi bila dia naik dekat director, dia dah tak ada. Sebab dia kata, okay, statistician, actually what you do is that you just take the data and then you analyze the data, you get the result, that's it. Forecasting dan sebagainya, semua dia buat oleh economists. So, after certain position, you mati. So, in order for you to naik, you kena branch into the economics. But then we cannot have people from engineering going to the economics, but because they are not in the same family. That's what it means. So, job families actually relate. It's about a few other positions yang sebenarnya they are interrelated, tetapi dibenarkan mereka to cross over. Okay, yang ini yang tadi mungkin Ali got it slightly different because dia kata crew members, some of the crew members dan sebagainya, dia tak boleh jadi pilot. Dia boleh paling tinggi pun dia boleh jadi apa tu lead, apa tu steward dan sebagainya. For example, dia tak boleh jadi pilot. Tapi dalam case yang saya bagi tahu tadi, they can actually move because once they reach to the maximum, then they can go there because they understand the roles, they can do the roles, cumanya dia duduk di tempat yang lain. But because they are closely connected dan sebagainya, they can understand how things are done. Ya, okay. Ada soalan nak tanya tak? Is that clear?
Clear, Prof.
Okay. Ada yang lain-lain yang sejak ni dah tidur ke? Ke faham ke macam mana?
Faham. Tapi
Faham,
kan, sir, what
Ya.
is your opinion to those companies or HR who publish or who yang dia tunjuk dekat website the job description before we apply lah kan? It's different or very general and very vague. Tapi when we secure that position, they're gonna be like different, totally different, and we have no idea. Kenapa macam from the description is different and the work that we are doing right now is different. Are they trying to play safe?
Okay, dia kadang-kadang dalam job description yang dia advertise kepada public ni, dia tidak sedetail sangat. Because first kali dia don't know, okay, it depends on the few strategies lah. Depends on the few strategies where they don't want to make it so detailed so that they don't have a preferred candidate. So when they don't have a preferred candidate, they want many people to apply. Yeah, and then as they move along, then dia akan kata, maybe this candidate is good and we can work along with this candidate lah. Okay, this is where some of the candidates may feel cheated. Bila they join, they thought, okay, actually this is actually more than this. Dia bukan seperti apa yang ditulis dalam job description yang di-advertise dan sebagainya. So dalam job description yang di-advertise dekat newspaper ke, dekat apa tu, dekat website dan sebagainya, dia tidak ada banyak detail. Contohnya dengan siapa, kalau you nak dapat detail-detail ni, you cari organisation macam World Bank ke, all this established, dia memang very detail. Termasuk gaji dia bagi, dekat mana you kena kerja, kola berapa, dia bagi. Itu semua dia. Tapi kalau you tengok company-company dalam Malaysia, dia tak akan bagi sedetail macam tu. In fact, gaji pun kadang-kadang dia tak letak pun berapa. Dia make it very subjective in such a way that anybody can apply. So once you apply, then they give you, dia kadang-kadang dia fikir, okay lah, whatever we put there is what you should be doing, but there are actually other things lah. This is, I think, where you said, they trying to be funny with us dan sebagainya kan. Possible, I wouldn't use the word they are trying to be funny with you lah. Tapi I'm trying to say that they may not know 100% what to tell you, but the company that your boss would know better. Tetapi the job description is not developed by your boss. It's developed by the HR over a period of years. They have consistently used that. The orang keluar organisation, they're looking for new people, they still use the old document. Sedangkan the organisation has already evolved dan you punya department knows best apa position itu kena buat sebenarnya. Dia tak ada update. Itu yang saya rasa masalah dia lah. I think dia punya kesilapan tu is a professional punya kesilapan ataupun dia tidak update dari segi profesional dia lah. Tapi kalau nak kata dia tipu dan sebagainya ataupun play safe dan sebagainya tu mungkin because of their inefficiency it will look like that lah. That's my view lah. Okay ke Munira macam tu?
Okay. Saya faham.
Saya rasa this job description ni dia kena update from time to time. Dia bukan satu dokumen yang you buat 10 tahun lepas sampai bila-bila pun you pakai dokumen yang sama. Right? Because organisation evolve sebenarnya, dia bukan static, remain static kan. Jadi dia tak boleh lah kata benda yang sama tu boleh dipakai bila ada orang dah resign, kita pakai dokumen yang sama juga. Itu tak masuk. Then mungkin ada ketidakadilan dekat situ. Okay, any other questions that you like to ask? Ada any questions that you like to ask about job description? Tadi somebody said something pasal job description dalam chat. Saya cakap help organize and categorize various roles within an organization. Okay, alright. Ada apa-apa lagi? Jeremiah? Okay, Jeremiah. What's your thought? What's your thought on this?
I'm just, I mean, today on the KPI, and then I'm just trying to relate back the, job family, like why Prof mentioned job family and, its importance. Because first time I came across this term, so I'm just reading up. Yeah.
That's why in the job families nanti, ketika bila you nak apply for job dan sebagainya internally, then selalunya HR akan bagi tahu, okay, you can apply for this job because you are you are in the same job families lah. Tapi katakanlah kalau you accountant dan you nak buka untuk jadi operational dan sebagainya, mungkin dia kata tidak sesuai lah because you are not in the same job families kan. I think that's what it's lah ya. More or less what that.
Okay.
Satu lagi yang penting pasal job families ni is that the rationale of this is actually to also give hopes to people. Because sometimes bila dia duduk dalam organisation, dia tengok, rupanya dia boleh mati kat sini. Dia tak boleh pergi higher than that. This role doesn't allow you to climb as far as others in the organisation. Tak boleh. Because dia kata, because kita tak ada that position yang lagi tinggi. So macam mana you nak grow in the organisation? Does it mean that after X number of years you must look for another job because the organisation that you look for cannot accommodate you lah to a higher position? That's what it means lah. Naturally, generally that's what it means. Okay, alright. Ada soalan lagi nak tanya? Any questions that you like to ask? Ada? Carol ke? Ada nak tanya apa-apa soalan? Emilia? Robin
So far,
ada nak tanya?
Prof, thank you.
Camelia dah dapat kerja dah?
Belum, Prof. Tengah cari lagi.
Okey, belum lagi. Ni ramai orang, bos-bos ada dalam ni. Hantarlah CV kat bos-bos dalam ni.
Nanti dulu.
Okey, Iza ada apa-apa soalan nak tanya? Dapat dah data dah?
Tak ada, sir. So far all good. Very informative discussion for tonight.
Okay, so hari ni ada banyak areas yang kita dah cover. So I rasa I don't want to go further lagi because ada banyak benda yang Yang benda-benda ni sebenarnya you need to have a look at because nanti kalau I introduce you with too many ideas, because all these ideas they are interconnected. That is the role dalam HR. Dia bukan setiap satu modul dalam HR tu terlampau banyak sangat perbezaan. They are actually interrelated benda-benda ni. Now your role is that you need to understand how these things are interrelated. If for example, if you get exam questions ataupun apa ni explain the roles of HR dalam facilitations of achieving strategic planning katakan. Dan benda-benda ni semua boleh masuklah dalam tu. Macam mana you nak facilitate company to achieve their strategic planning from HR perspective. Apa HR, peranan HR dalam untuk menjayakan benda-benda ni. That's what it means. Yeah? Okay? Boleh faham
Boleh. Saya pun tengah cari kerja baru, sir.
Kenapa dia cari kerja baru? Essential kan bagus. Tak bagus ke? Good salary.
Looking for a better, I'm not saying now is not a good environment, looking for more exposure lah. Sebab sometimes sitting, I mean like remaining at the same position tu rasa macam terlebih selesa. So I'm looking for new challenges and exposures.
How long have you been with Accenture?
Baru 3 tahun.
Baru 3 tahun. Sebelum tu kat mana?
I was with Web Help, customer service for Shopee Singapore.
Okay. Right. Okay. Good. Yeah, maybe you can explore other things dan sebagainya. HR ni sebenarnya satu kerja yang penting lah. Now when you look at it again, if you were to ask me maybe about 20 over years ago, I look at it differently. I had a chance to develop HRMS, Human Resource Management Information System untuk kerajaan Malaysia pada tahun 1999. Then I realized the importance of HR lah. When we look at the modules dalam tu, macam-macam modules ada dalam HR, then you understand the complexity of it and how important is complexities ni of different ideas ni are integrated so that they become harmonious lah under one agenda, which is the human resource management. Kalau tidak dia tak baik, kalau tidak dia benda ni macam isolation. Sebenarnya dia tak isolation langsung. All of them are actually interrelated. So it's actually a very interesting position. Then I guess after that people start coming out with the idea of HR ni dia bukan operation, bukan just operation, they are also strategic positions. Then that's why they come up with the idea that okay, let's have a chief human resource human capital management katakan dan sebagainya. So all these sort of things are very important lah dalam bila kita tengok dari segi HR perspektif lah untuk menjayakan HR agenda in the organisation. Okay, Ali hari ni? Is it too heavy for you?
No, actually, it's a very good explanation from you lah, Prof.
Dia ada banyak idea Ali
Ada banyak idea, betul.
Dia sebenarnya satu kerja yang penting. Dulu masa saya dulu belajar kat UK ramai stewardess. Jadi stewardess ni saya tak berapa tahu sangat, tapi saya tahu steward ni many of them they actually took the opportunity sebenarnya to study overseas sebenarnya. Tapi dia bukan pergi kelas, dia panggil distance learning punya classes kan. So bila dia sampai certain destination kata England ke apa, dan dulu kan flight dia stay lama sikit kan, dia 3-4 hari kan sebelum dia balik kan dulu kan.
Dia lama sikit.
Then what these people do is that I do not know lah, mungkin dia punya roster ke apa, dia cuba cari dapat banyak pergi ke London dan sebagainya. Dia pergi sambung belajar dekat situ pun ada.
I see.
Because they believe maybe after certain number of years dan sebagainya, dia pun dah tak boleh naik pangkat lagi kan, dia mati kat certain position saja kan. Then after that they feel that they want to work somewhere else with a better salary ke apa ke kan. Then ataupun things like that lah.
Yes.
So
Actually,
actually,
I'm also trying to do the same thing also lah, Prof. Especially after pandemic hari tu kan. Pandemic, I was jobless for about almost 3 years lah, and I start to realize I cannot depend on this job only lah. It's very volatile market kan.
oh, tapi saya memang kenal ramai yang saya pernah jumpa ramai pilot yang sebenarnya sambung belajar. Memang ramai, but they take this kind of classes lah. Dia tak pergi yang the normal day classes tu, dia tak pergi.
Yeah, correct.
Dia pergi yang overseas punya lah, ataupun mana-mana yang whatever they can afford and comfortable with the arrangement, the timing arrangement and so on lah.
Yeah.
Some of them they want to do business and therefore they want to understand better about MBA ke kan.
Betul.
Adalah macam tu lah, kadang-kadang ada orang yang macam ni, but they learn through that and they also their participation in class also benefited the class, because it's very rare that kita dapat macam pilot ke or somebody. Kita macam dulu, let me tell you. You know, when you go to some very good universities, they make what they call class profiles. So class profile ni dia, especially some universities yang di mana student dia tu terlampau ramai, dia tak boleh ambil semua. Katakan dia ada 100 seat aja, yang apply sampai 700. So they do a class profiling. Contohnya class profiling among other thing, X number of people saja yang boleh ada daripada certain countries. Ramai sangat. Dua, dia mesti ada different backgrounds. So I remember one of the participant yang masuk dalam kelas tu was Olympic winner. Dia dapat
Olympic.
Olympic winner. Olympic winner, dia masuk Harvard Business School. Kenapa dia masuk? Kenapa dan dia punya keputusan apa tu, GMAT dia ke apa tu tidak setinggi orang lain. Now the school said it's very simple. He's an Olympic winner. So obviously he has some story to tell everybody. This is a unique experience. Experience ni orang lain tak ada. Dalam kelas ni kita tak pernah ada satu Olympic winner pun. So I think it's beneficial if the students were to join our school. Itu satu. Kedua, dia juga ada ambil seorang general yang berkhidmat di Gulf War. Masa tu it was many years after the Gulf War. Gulf War yang pertama dulu tahun 1990 kan. Yang between Amerika dengan Iraq dulu kan. Yang Kuwait punya invasion kan. First time. So dia bekerja dekat situ as a general. So bila dia dah retired ke begitu, dia masuk ke Harvard Business School jadi student, and they said that kita kena masuk. Padahal dia punya prior qualification tak biasa lah. Dia bukan daripada academic punya, dia daripada military punya. Mungkin kalau you tanya military punya apa training dan sebagainya, dia macam-macam certification dia ada lah. Tapi kalau you tanya academic, mungkin tak ada. Tapi he was invited, he was part of the class, because they believe that his knowledge is rare lah as compared to other people in the class. Sebab tu dia ambil juga orang-orang daripada latar belakang lain. Dia tidak ambil kata just because we want to fill up 100 ni, let's take all the top businessmen. Tak ada. Dia akan ambil orang daripada lain-lain background. So that you can enrich your discussion. That's the value of coming to the class.
I see.
Kan?
Yeah.
You have to sorry, Eddie.
Cuma there's one thing I'm curious about yourself lah, Prof. Because I've read through your LinkedIn and I see that you graduated your PhD from Cambridge. You've been a CEO. But what made you choose to come back and to teach? It's not that I'm not grateful or what, but I'm just curious. Like you have such a successful career already, kan?
Yang ini bagi saya, I just like to share my knowledge lah. A lot of these things is coming from, I used to teach many years ago. I did teach many different and sometimes kalau macam MBA ni, the value of MBA ni is actually knowledge lah. Apa tu experience and these sort of things. Sebenarnya it is more practical lah sebenarnya. Kalau certain universities lah, dekat UK for example, certain universities, they don't actually recognize MBA ni as an academic qualification. Dekat Malaysia we do. Dekat UK certain universities they don't. Like Cambridge University they tak. Because they kata MBA ni sebenarnya dia practical, professional. So dia punya daya pengukur dia bukannya theoretical. Kalau subjek lain ni dia kena theoretical base. That means whatever you give must be tied up back to the theories that are available dan sebagainya. Tapi dalam MBA, dia punya penerapan adalah berbeza. For example, student participation takes into consideration, student presentation takes into consideration, negotiation takes into consideration. These are the skill sets in the business. Yang bukan skill set dalam business school punya dalam subjek-subjek yang lain, dia tidak. Tapi dalam business school, these are the thing yang kita tengok. You punya presentation skills are very important, negotiation skills are very important. Dalam subjek-subjek lain, benda ni, yes, you may need to make some presentation. Tapi dia tak ada expect you to be so articulate. Kan? Kalau dekat sini tak ada, dia expect you to really, dalam business school, they expect you to be good in this. And one of the other requirements bila saya tengok lah, masa saya di overseas dulu, dan saya pun mengajar juga dulu dekat overseas MBA punya classes. A lot of the time, the students are glued together because they are always given projects ke tadi ke, where they need to spend hours and hours in the lab lah, ataupun computer lab ke, ataupun dia punya seminar room dan sebagainya kan. Kadang tak tidur sebab esok pagi nak kena present. Malam ni dia bagi kerja, esok pagi present case study ni, present case study ni. Actually what they did is was very good because what they wanted is for people to work together. Because these are the skill sets of businessmen sebenarnya. Itu yang sebenarnya penerapan yang saya rasa lebih baik lah. Lebih baik. Yeah.
I see. And also, Prof, since you have seen the work and you know lah macam mana how things works and all that, and you have seen how MBA's program dekat overseas semua macam mana, what are the things that we in this university are missing lah? Apa yang kita short in, and how do we mitigate that?
Okay, dia sebenarnya you cannot say something like this. This is why I always teach. If you were asked to ask me to teach economics, then I will teach you the thought process in economics. Dalam economics kita belajar market structure. Market structure dia ada 4 kan, ada oligopoly, monopoly, oligopolistic dan juga perfect competitions. So the whole idea of understanding about market structure ni is to identify who you are. That means kalau dalam language kita guna, okay, if this is a zoo, then you need to know what animal you are. So you cannot just say that you are just an animal. That you must identify what particular animal you are. Contohnya, you are a tiger. Tiger ni ada macam-macam pula. Kita ada, leopard ada, harimau Melaya ada, macam-macam. Harimau Melaya tak sama macam leopard. Harimau Melaya dia tak panjat pokok. Leopard dia boleh panjat pokok katakan. Puma macam mana. Kita dia berlari. Jadi dia are different sebenarnya. So bila dia different, then the way that you have to cluster them, certain animals can be clustered together. Certain animal cannot. You cannot just say animal. Semut pun animal. So semut tidak boleh disamakan dengan gajah. You cannot compare that. So now the value propositions of many top universities dan sebagainya is that they have other parameters that they look at. You look at them, you just tengok saja berapa dia charge satu kepala. You just tengok saja dia charge. Why did they charge such money, for example? Is it because they get top professors yang mengajar? Saya tak percaya begitu. Sebab good professor, good lecturers yang mengajar pun banyak je dekat local universities. Tapi tak ada local universities yang charge sampai setengah juta ke 400,000 ke, tak ada. Yang paling mahal pun ASEAN Business School yang owned by Bank Negara Malaysia 200,000. Itu pun dia struggle nak dapat student yang sangat-sangat baik lah. Technically, the whole idea is to get good student. Tapi sometimes they couldn't get, they just take people with money lah that can afford 200,000 kan. Mungkin they are from rich families dan sebagainya, tak ada masalah. Tapi kita tak boleh samakan begitulah. Sebab pricing has also some implikasi. Because they create a certain threshold. They only want certain groups of people to come. Okay, then certain pula kata dia ada, kalau you tengok ada AMBA, AMBA. Kalau ada AMBA ni, kalau overseas university ada AMBA, Dia bermaksud tidak ada orang yang boleh masuk dia punya course tanpa 2 years of working, at least 2 years of working. Fresh graduate dia tak akan ada. Okay? Saya pernah masuk dulu masa masa mula-mula start kerja dulu, saya masuk satu program. I like the program. Cost a lot of money, 36,000, tahun 90 lebih, ada 36,000. So tu saya kata it's okay lah. Since it's a 3 years course, I can afford 1,000 per month. I can put aside from my salary 1,000 and for 3 years I can pay. Lepas tu dia bagi saya masuk untuk satu kelas. The second class dia bagi, dia kata minta maaf. You tidak boleh, we can, next year you apply, you boleh masuk lah. This year tak boleh masuk. So saya tanya kenapa, dia kata kita ada requirement 2 years. Itu AMBA punya requirement. Kalau AMBA, dia tak boleh ada fresh graduate. So kita tak boleh samakan. Dia ada banyak different category. And they cannot be clustered. And you need to know your expectation dia lah. Yeah. And I said, kalau you pergi yang mahal-mahal ni, sebenarnya you bayar bukan nak jumpa profesor dia sangat. Sebenarnya you nak jumpa classmate you. Siapa yang mampu bayar banyak-banyak ni? They must be of certain position. Apa bapak dia? Kita nak berkawan dengan dia sebab bapak dia somebody. Itu tujuan dia sebenarnya. That's why you want to spend a lot of time with your friend. Bukan you nak spend a lot of your time with your lecturer. Lecturer ni facilitator saja sebenarnya. Kan? You need to be a good facilitator untuk conduct a discussion. Kalau saya mengajar dekat UK dulu, dia ni sebenarnya kelas dia 5 hari. Dia 1 hari daripada 9 sampai 12. Slide pun kadang-kadang ada, kadang-kadang tak ada. Kalau ada pun 13 slide untuk 1 hari. 13 slide untuk 1 hari. Jadi dia bagi satu idea, lepas tu dia ask people to discuss the point. And then make presentation. Itu saja. To show that you understand what's going on lah.